Hey guys, this is a quick unboxing video of the Aeroflow tall touring windscreen for the BMW R1250RS. I believe they make the same model for the R1200, and the BMW just didn't really change the geometry of the bike a whole lot. The box did come with some damage, but hopefully it's nothing. Okay, looks like it's bubble wrapped with some packing material above and below it. Let's get that stuff out of the way. Just double check the model. Okay, looks good. Careful not to scratch it. Looks like it's covered front and back. And safely put it down. Just gonna do a quick measurement. It's 21.5 approximately. The width is a little over, about 22.25. Some instructions. Do not use thread locker. Got some extra washers and rubber grommets, which probably I'm not going to need. Let's see. Although the model name of this product still has the numbers 1200 in it, but if you look at the instructions, it does say 1250RS as well. So basically what they're saying is to use the rubber grommets as a spacer between the windscreen and the mounting points on the bike itself. In other words, there should be a gap, so I guess the windscreen doesn't get marred over time. The other important thing to note is that it utilizes the bottom two and top two screws. So, I mean, you can adjust it up and down because of this bracket allows you to do that, but you cannot adjust the position of the holes in the future to lower or higher position, which shouldn't really be a problem, but just something to note. Okay. All right. So I'll do a separate video regarding the installation. Should be a fairly quick and short one. Thanks. The one thing that I'm kind of worried about is because of the size and shape of this new windscreen, how is that going to affect the overall look and design of the bike? So here's the bike from the front with the stock windscreen. Here is the side profile. There you go. All right, let's get the plastic cover off. I laid out some thin towels, microfiber cloths, just for extra added protection. So let me get this out of the way. If you look at the side profile, you see there's a bit of a lip, and that's the key here, right here. All right, start off with replacing, taking off the OEM windscreen. I believe it's the T25. You're going to want to save these. The issue with the stock windscreen is that it doesn't really do anything well. It is too low to send the wind just to your chest. Even in the low setting and on the high, it just throws the wind directly in your face. And I've tried both the high mount positions and the low mount positions, and that's when I basically gave up on it. The other options were from brands like GV or Givi, I don't know how else you want to pronounce that, and then obviously Kuj. But at the filming of this video, nothing was available, and also MRA. Forgot to mention that. MRA's windscreens were not tall enough, and the price point was still quite high. That's why I ended up going with the Aeroflow. These are among the priciest, if not the priciest, but it looks like what they were doing when they designed it. Looks like they specialize in a very select few motorcycles, BMWs being one of them. I'm going to pre-insert the screws in the washers. I'm going to pre-insert the screws in the washer. The stainless steel washers, they go on first. There's a shinier side and then there's the matte side. So just for consistency, stick with one or the other. It is going to get smudgy, so there's no real way around it. As I'm doing it, I feel like I think the best thing is if you can get a helper so you can position these screws. Otherwise you run the risk of accidentally dropping the windscreen. So what I'm going to do is I pre-positioned one screw and then I'm going to hand tighten it and leave it like so until I get the second washer and screw set. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we're utilizing the top two and the bottom two. Get them hand tightened so they're in position. So again, the sequence is stainless steel washer, and then the windscreen, and then the rubber grommet or washer. I'm having to adjust the mirrors. I'm hoping they are not going to interfere. I think it's a temporary adjustment. I'm going to hand tighten them only first. There is no torque spec, so just be mindful because you could very easily over torque it. You will see the rubber grommets get squished in the back. Okay. So yeah, just when you're putting the windscreen on, you may want to pull the mirrors forward. But once it's gone on, they go back to the position that they were. So you shouldn't have any interference issues. That's it. Let's have a look-see at this one. I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod for a moment. Okay, well, it doesn't look terrible, which is a good thing. And again, this is currently in the low position. I'm not sure how clearly you can see, being that the windscreen is clear. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate by sitting on the bike. I might do a road test later on. I'm not sure how I'll be able to, but we'll try that later on. But for now, I just want to get a sense of where my line of sight is in relation to the top of the windscreen. Right now, it's in the high setting. I'm going to switch it to low. Motorcycle here. So although this is the tallest windscreen that they offer, in the low setting, it's still not terribly tall. So what I mean by that is, as I see ahead, I'm seeing well over the windscreen. Now when we move into the high position, there is a remarkable change, if you will. My line of sight is pretty much in line with the top, and so maybe another 4 inches over my head. I'm assuming my helmet is going to end up being somewhere here. So I'm hoping that this deflector style, this design, is going to guide as much wind as possible over my helmet. It is definitely a bigger improvement compared to the previous one. It is thick material. It's not one of those thin acrylic sheets. The other important thing, obviously, is the width. Let me grab the camera. Let me give you my point of view as a writer. So I'm going to put the camera right in front of my eyes just to give you a sense of, I mean, obviously the camera has a wider angle of view. But anyways, what I'm trying to show you is the width. It covers a lot more area, so hopefully that is going to deflect a lot of wind around my torso. This bike is meant for touring. BMW considers it a sports bike, but yeah, I think in my opinion this bike has an identity crisis. Anyways, let me position it back down to the low position. As you can see, it goes down a lot. I'm going to test it in both lower and higher position. I would rather that it work out for me in the lower position than higher, but the fact that I have both options is good. You can see the thickness of the acrylic it's made out of. And the clarity, it's pretty good. I don't see any issues with that. All right, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Here's another quick size differential comparison, if you will. I'm gonna superimpose the OEM windscreen on top of this new one, and you can clearly see that it is wider and taller, and how much taller. I didn't want to gamble by purchasing their medium length, because in this situation, function takes precedence over form. I know I have some concerns regarding the look and feel of the bike, but when you're looking at 12 plus hours of touring on the bike, comfort tends to take the front seat. So you got to think about that, be realistic and rational. All right, thanks.